Mabuhay! Peugeot has been on a tear recently trying to assert itself in the Philippine market. Previously, we've tried the 5008 and the 2008. But I think this 3008 strikes the right balance. Let me tell you why. Let's start with the looks, and at first glance you can immediately tell that Peugeot put a lot of emphasis on its design, and you can see that the car has a lot of personality just by looking at the front. You have full LED headlights and these fang-like DRLs, which are actually a treat to look at night. These flank the frameless grille. Now let's check the side. Over here at the side, you get more chrome accents just to accentuate more of the character lines of the 3008. You also get 18-inch Los Angeles styled alloy wheels. But another cool feature here is there's actually a little Easter egg under the side mirrors. When you open the door at night, you can see that there's a spotlight that shows the logo of the brand. Now onto the rear. Over at the rear, the most notable feature, design feature at that, has to be the claw-like LED taillights. Claw, of course, because this is the Lion brand after all. And lastly, the coolest thing about the rear is the hands-free tailgate. Now let's check out the inside. Now we're inside the 3008, and if you thought the exterior was the only place where it would be stylish and have a lot of personality, you'd be wrong, because Peugeot is of course a French brand, so the inside has to be just as stylish as the outside. First things first, your attention is drawn to this steering wheel that actually reminds me of a Formula 1 style steering wheel because of its shape and its size. It's fun to hold and very nice to turn, especially when you're driving. Behind it, to talk about these paddle shifters, it has this nice brushed metal finish here. It's nice to blip up and down. Okay, so now let's talk about the Peugeot iCockpit system, which is their way of saying most of the features in the interior are biased more towards the driver, him needing or her needing most of the information, of course. So this is a 12.3-inch display that is actually customizable, so you can change it. So right now I'm in my own bespoke setting. I customized it. I wanted to see my fuel economy and the engine speed, and of course the speed of the car itself. But you can change that. You can move it towards navigation if you want. So if you want the map to be in front of you, you can do that. Then you can go for driving, which are normal dials, and that also has the car, nice little car in front of you. So there you have it. Below that, the steering wheel, you have your controls on the left side for the screen over here, and the controls here for the right side are for the 10-inch infotainment screen that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Below that, you have these nice, again, brushed metal buttons and panels here that add style. And I have to mention my favorite thing about the interior is this sort of jeans material panel that they put inside. It just gives it more personality and character. Anyway, moving on. Below that, you have buttons for other settings, like you lock the car here and stuff like that. And you actually have here USB port, 12-volt socket, and this is a wireless charging port. So if your phone has that, put that there, charges your phone. Interestingly, here on the right side are other drive modes. This is an SUV, but interestingly, it's not all-wheel drive. But Peugeot still decided to put different settings. So you can put it in snow mode, mud crawl mode, sand. You can turn off the stability control, and of course back to normal. Here is the gear lever, which I will mention in the driving part. Takes some getting used to, but nonetheless it looks pretty cool. You have your electronic parking brake here, and down here the sport button, cup holders, and inside this is actually a cool box. So if you put drinks inside, it's actually a pretty big cool box, so decent sized drinks can be put inside and to stay cool. As much as I like the personality and the character of the interior, there are some things, well, one thing really that I'd like to point out is a little bit of a hassle. As you can see by my face, it's quite hot outside. So let's try to turn on the air condition. Press on the brake, press the start button, it starts. I have to press this button to get into the air conditioning. There's that. Then to press the fan speed, and there you have it. Ooh, Nice. Now that we're here in the second row, let me talk you through some of the features you get. First things first, let's talk about the legroom. Should you need any more legroom, actually, both the driver and the passenger seat are power adjustable, but nonetheless, this is my driving position and I have enough space. Above me is a huge panoramic sunroof. You have two air conditioning vents here, a USB port, a center armrest, and lastly, two cup holders. But what is it like to drive? The 3008 is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged gasoline engine that puts out 165 horsepower and 240 newton meters of torque. Shifting is then taken care of by a 6-speed automatic transmission. This car is also equipped with an advanced driver assistance system, or ADAS. It comes with active blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, and even driver attention system. So the others are pretty self-explanatory. The blind spot tells you if there is a car, like now I'm merging, if there's a car here, there's a light that will come on in the side mirror and tell me that there's an oncoming car. And the most, I think, interesting one is the lane keep assist, because just like other lane keep systems, it reads the lines in the road and makes sure that the car stays in between the lines. So if I stray a little bit, let's try, oh, and then the car will slightly nudge the steering wheel just to keep me in the middle. So let's talk about fuel economy. In the city, it's pretty decent. It was doing around 9 kilometers per liter, but out on the highway, when you're doing decent speed and you're maintaining about 100 kilometers per hour, right now it's telling me I'm doing 16.9 kilometers per liter, which is actually pretty decent considering it's a pretty heavy car and it's also only got a 6-speed automatic transmission, not a dual clutch or anything like that. But I have to say, like I've said in my previous reviews of the 5008 and even in the 2008, which are the siblings of this car, that any Peugeot is great to drive. The steering is incredible. It's light in the city, but when you're out of the highway and you want to give it some beans, it's direct, it's fun, it makes you want to drive it fast, and it can go fast. There's actually a sport mode. But yeah, like I said, like the driving of this car is great. If you're a person who likes to drive, the 3008 is a really great car to drive. I do have some comments though, and it's more of the ergonomics of the car. First things first is the shifter. It takes a while to get used to it because it's not as straightforward as you think it is, but once you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. Next thing is the cruise control. It's down here. There's a stalk on the lower left hand side of the steering wheel, and it's kind of hard to turn on because you can't see the icons or the buttons, so you really have to get used to it. But again, once you get used to it, it's really not so bad. And lastly, I have to say the ride is a little stiff. It's not really that bad, but I noticed that over certain road surfaces it can jar you just a little bit. But again, overall, nothing to complain about. I have to also commend lastly the iCockpit system of this car. Like I mentioned, that it comes with that, because iCockpit sounds like marketing speak, but honestly they really hit the head of the nail on this one, because you can see everything. In my line of sight right now, I'm driving on the highway, so my focus has to be on the road, but I really don't have to look far away just to see the information in front of me or to change the music. The cockpit is really angled more towards the driver, so it's really good. So that iCockpit system is really nice. So to really sum it all up, the 3008 is a fantastic car to drive. It's amazing how easy it is and how fun it is at the same time. The Peugeot 3008 retails for 2,210,000 Philippine pesos. That is a lot of money, and there are a lot of other cars in its segment that offer the same type of equipment for a little bit less. But the 3008 achieves something that not everybody can do, which is to set you apart. If you're the type of person who likes style, who likes showing people that you have a personality, that you have taste, the 3008 might be the right car for you. But should you get one? Again, that's entirely up to you. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. And also, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This has been Pablo Salapantan of YugaAuto. Paalam!